Hello, so I'm back. I had to take a break, and in taking a break, I talked this over with someone else, and I ended up realizing because I ended up reading the cards a little bit wrong. So the one that I read wrong was this Eight of Cups. I thought that this was going to mean, and yes, this is a part two, just to let you know, this is a part two to the first one, to the first video. But I ended up reading the Eight of Cups a little bit wrong. And it turns out that the Eight of Cups is actually going to mean, since it's in the reverse position, I was reading it as though it was an upright. All right, it's not an upright. Turns out that it's in the reverse position, which means that everyone is not going to be walking away from that which doesn't serve us. In other words, we're not going to be walking away from the government, which isn't serving us, from this country, which isn't serving us. Believe it or not, this Eight of Cups in reverse means that people are not going to be walking away. And maybe even, specific leaders and whatnot are not going to be walking away. Now, why? I don't know, but there you go. So I read the Eight of Cups wrong. But then something occurred to me about this Ten of Swords. This can also mean that everybody hates you. And I mean absolutely everybody. There isn't even a bug that, you are so hated that even mosquitoes don't want to get near you because they're like, dude, I hate you. I'm not going to bite you. That even mosquitoes, even the bugs in the animal kingdom don't want to get near you because you're just that well hated. You're just that well seen as disgusting and despised. Like everybody hates you. Even the flies won't get near you because they're not gonna get near something that shitty and that filthy. you know um and who is the Ten of Swords for? I don't know, other than I see both parties hating each other. And because of the reading that I got, because of these cards, if I can show them all on camera here, I don't know if I can fit them all in. Because of these cards that I got, these two are upside down. These three are right side up. The other thing that occurred to me, and this is going to sound absolutely ridiculous, but the only way that Trump and Kamala Harris can be installed both as president, there's a couple of things. One, they install Kamala Harris behind the scenes and have her actually running things, and they have Trump be the Muppet that they show to everyone. And despite what anyone might say, they put her words in his mouth. Now that would keep the most peace, and that would keep everything calm, and that would stop the whole country from breaking up. The only other option that I see is that they come forward with all of this and they break the whole country up, and we actually end up getting two or more countries, and in at least two of the countries or more, Kamala Harris is installed as president. And as for the other countries, Trump is installed as president. So Trump and Kamala Harris both get sworn in both these instances. One, Kamala Harris will be the actual president working behind the scenes, unknown to everyone, and she'll be doing it through the mask of Trump, which is, basically kind of like the way we have it now, which would line up with the Three of Pentacles, where nothing changes and we don't learn anything. That actually lines up far better with the reality that we have now versus anything else. Or they come out of the closet about absolutely everything. It breaks the country up, actually physically breaks it up, on the surface, all the peasants, all the human beings knowing about it, all the monkeys knowing about it. And you actually have two separate people being installed as president. Basically simultaneously, not really simultaneously, not at the exact same time, but you have two people installed as president, and they're going to rule two separate countries. And that's just the way it is. And whether that's going to be like the original Civil War, where it only stays like that for a little while and then it comes back together with having one president, which I definitely see. I mean, that is very much what could happen. Or the country remains permanently separate and separated, and it's no longer a country. Now, I do know that I've been told that the US and who or whatever is determined about this, the US is supposed to have 100 presidents, 100 of them. And we're darn near the number 50 now. You know, we're moving on to number what is it? 47. So we're nearing our halfway point. But the US is supposed to have 100 presidents before it's finally dissolved into all, either one or several separate companies and businesses. Or maybe just two or more companies and businesses. And it's literally businesses, not governments any longer. It's interesting. It went from religion to governments, and next it's going to go to businesses. And where it goes after that, I don't know. But that's what's going to happen. So whether or not the US actually reaches 100 presidents, I don't know. But there you go. There's some information for y'all. Hopefully you'll take it to heart. Hopefully you'll actually use it. I mean, well, use it. You can't really use any of this stuff. I mean, it's just interesting to know. And it's a heads up for anybody out there, you know. So there you go. And that's it. That's it. I will say personally, what I am getting in spirit is that nothing is going to happen. They're not going to install Kamala Harris, uh, even as a shadow government to stand behind Trump. What I am getting is that it's calm, it's peaceful. First off, everybody was really relieved to have this over and done with, to have the election over and done with. Everybody seems very happy about the way the election turned out. It's upsetting to me personally, but everybody is exceedingly happy with the way the election turned out. They're glad that it's over and done with. They're glad that they're not having to, quote, fight for their country and nation, unquote, anymore, which is, in my mind, a pile of sick shit, but there you go. And we're not going to have any, puppet governments. This is the last election. Supposedly 4 years from now, something will pop up and try to overthrow Trump, and then you might get a revolution. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't see that happening. What I am feeling in spirit right now, this minute, is that all of these cards are wrong. This tarot card pull was incredibly strong and definitive, but it was incorrect, 110% incorrect. But it was very interesting, and it made me feel very hopeful. And I liked it, and it made me feel good. And it's fascinating either way, no matter what happens. But I see Trump being installed. I see us not having elections again. And I see things, believe it or not, going on still and peaceful. And it's just kind of like, it feels very corpsey. And it feels bloated too, oddly enough. It feels like a very bloated corpse. I don't know how else to put it. It's very wet, it's squishy, and it's bloated, but it's not moving. It's dead. You are not going to move this thing. It is dead. It is not moving. You can't move a mountain. You can blow it up. You can drill a hole through it. You can nuke it, turn it to rubble, but you're not going to move that mountain. So you can destroy the mountain. You can hollow out the mountain. You can, put holes in the mountain. You can try to collapse the mountain, but the mountain still stays there, I mean, unless you strip mine it and cart it off and remove it entirely, but still, that isn't getting the mountain to move. I mean, technically, I guess you could say it is, but it's not. It's just not. So there you go. There you go. Ooh, this is at 10 minutes. I'm going to cut. Sorry. I'm cutting this off. Thanks for stopping by. And yes, this was a part 2 to this. I'm going to do one more card pull on this, though, because it really is fascinating. So bye for this video.